While most people thought the Pacers were poised to make the biggest noise on draft night because of their superstar player, the Indiana Pacers quietly had an impressive draft. I feel they drafted 3 first-round talents. With the 18th pick, they drafted the offensively gifted power forward out of UCLA, T.J. Leaf. He is ready to provide offense in the NBA right now. In his freshman season, he averaged around 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists a game, while shooting 62% from the field and 47% from three-point range. Nobody questions Leaf's ability on the offensive end, but it's the defensive end that could hold him back from possibly being an all-star level player. He's not a rim protector, and he doesn't have the foot speed to defend on the perimeter. With the Pacers' second pick, they maybe drafted the biggest steal in the entire draft. At 47, they drafted another player out of UCLA in Ike Anigbogu, the DeAndre Jordan clone with the potential to be a better offensive player. This guy was projected to be a mid-first rounder. His stat line in his freshman season were modest, but Anigbogu was playing with great talent at UCLA and played backup minutes. But there was a report that his medical was the reason why he fell in the draft. If that's the case, this is a low-risk, high-reward choice at 47. They also acquired a second-round pick from the Pelicans and drafted point guard Edmund Sumner. He's a 6'5" guard who averaged around 15 points and 5 assists in his sophomore season at Xavier. Sumner had his sophomore season cut short because of a torn ACL. Otherwise, he probably would have been a first-round pick. My grade for the Indiana Pacers is a B+. The Milwaukee Bucks have made some great picks in the last 3 to 4 years, and this year looks like it will continue. They drafted 2 players who can simply stroke it from three-point range. With their 17th pick, they drafted DJ Wilson from Michigan. Wilson has the potential to be a good all-around player in this league. He's a late bloomer, but a lot of teams were very high on his ability to defend multiple positions and, of course, shoot the 3-ball. He can switch onto guards in pick-and-roll situations and force them into tough shots. Wilson has great size for a stretch 4, standing 6'10" with a 7'3" wingspan. The Bucks acquired the 46th pick from Philadelphia and drafted guard Sterling Brown from SMU. Brown is a very well-rounded and efficient offensive player who in college shot 45% from 3 and 53% from 2-point range. He has great size for a shooting guard, standing 6'5", with close to a 6'10" wingspan, weighing a solid 225 pounds. Brown is one of those prospects who looks like a poor athlete due to his physique, but he's surprisingly explosive. He has the size to check most shooting guards and small forwards, and even some power forwards in small lineups. And a fun fact, he is the brother of former Lakers shooting guard Shannon Brown. My grade for the Milwaukee Bucks is a B. The Detroit Pistons only had 1 pick in the draft, but they made it count by selecting one of the draft's top 3-point shooters. They selected Luke Kennard out of Duke with the 12th pick. Detroit needed floor spacers, and Kennard provides that. But he's definitely more versatile than he gets credit for. He's not a player who can only catch and shoot. He's a scorer, and he proved that in his sophomore season by emerging as Duke's best player. And he was the player Coach K wanted the ball in his hands in clutch situations. He's not a great defender, but he works hard and competes on that side of the ball, and I have no doubts that Kennard will be a solid perimeter defender. The question for the Pistons is, do they move Caldwell Pope to small forward and insert Kennard in the starting lineup? That move could add more shooting and a better flow to the offense. But maybe there's a chance that another team gives Caldwell Pope a max offer, and maybe because of the Kennard pick, they refuse to match that offer. My grade for the Detroit Pistons is a B. The Chicago Bulls definitely had the worst draft night of all teams. And as a Bulls fan, I'm pretty sure I share the same feelings that most Bulls fans do, and wondering what the hell just happened. Everybody knew that Jimmy Butler possibly could be traded at any moment, and I wanted the Bulls to keep Jimmy Butler. But if they were able to get a great deal for him and start a rebuild, that would have been fine with me. But they traded arguably a top 12 player for Zach LaVine, who is coming off a torn ACL, making the Bulls fan go through another situation where they're wondering, can a guard be the same player after an ACL injury, i.e. Derrick Rose. They also received Chris Dunn, who probably had the worst offensive season for a rookie in recent memory. I was very high on Dunn before the draft last year, and I thought he could be a star point guard. But after his rookie season, and the fact that he's already 23 years old, I question he can ever be the player that most people thought he could become. And they also received Minnesota's 7th pick, which they drafted Lauri Markkanen. who I'm not really a big fan of. He's basically a slightly more talented Nikola Mirotic. But I cannot understand why the Bulls had to include the 16th pick in the deal. That right there made absolutely no sense. I'm sure the Bulls could have drew a line and said there's no deal if we have to give up the 16th pick. I find it hard to believe the Timberwolves would have declined the deal without that pick. I mean, it's not like they don't receive the best player in the deal without giving up Andrew Wiggins or Karl Anthony Towns. And to top it off, it seemed the Bulls had drafted a solid power forward with the 38th pick in Jordan Bell, who's an athletic freak and a rim protector. But a few minutes after the pick, it was reported that the Bulls sold the pick to the best team in the NBA. Not only are you giving up an excellent value pick at 38, but you're helping out a team that literally doesn't need any more help. My grade for the Chicago Bulls is an F.